Hello, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Kayleen if you're new here, and we're having a little girl talk today. But I just wanted to make this because I think there are a lot of different aspects of being a hygienic dancer that people don't really talk about, or maybe you don't have like a mom or a sister or a female figure at home that can talk to you about these things, or you do and you just don't really want to talk about it. But here's the thing. Okay, first off, I don't think there should be any shame or weirdness around any of these topics, things like body hair and periods and how to smell good. We need to throw that out the window. It's 2021. Hello, plant. But I know that if you are growing up right now, it still can be hard to talk about this stuff. So here I am being your fake big sister, Kay, to discuss all things hygiene as a dancer, because things are a little bit different with your hygiene when you're a dancer, and you know what I'm talking about if you are one. So let's just get into this. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want more content from me, things like dance tips and tutorials and classes and chats like this. We're gonna start by talking about how to smell good as a dancer. Some of these are just general like life tips on how to smell good, but I think as a dancer it can be tricky if you are taking maybe a lot of classes back to back, or you have some classes and then you have breaks and you're just kind of sitting around. So let's start from the top. Okay, you want to make sure that you're drinking enough water first and foremost. You need to hydrate yourself, but actually drinking enough water can make sure that everything is getting, like flushed out of your system. I find that if I am very hydrated, my sweat doesn't smell like anything really. Like it just is water being released. But if I'm dehydrated, then I smell kind of weird. So make sure that you're drinking enough water, and that'll also help like make sure you don't have bad breath, and just it's good for you to drink water, obviously. Also, with things that you're putting in your body, of course, be mindful of what you're eating. I did say that, when you sweat, you shouldn't really smell too much, but there are certain foods that you will smell through your perspiration. Things that are like very garlicky or like oniony foods. Totally go wild and eat them if you want, but just know that your sweat might kind of smell like those things. So maybe have those for dinner after class or a day that you're not taking class, but also because it can leave the taste in your mouth and you don't really want to be like breathing that on other people unless you are smart and you bring like a little to-go toothbrush with you. I think that's a really nice tip if you're going to be eating snacks or having meals at the dance studio or around your classes. They sell these little travel toothbrushes, which I have one and I just don't have it with me right now, but I'll pop a little pic on the screen and I'll link all of the stuff I talk about down below on my Amazon storefront. So if you want to buy any of these items, it'll like be super easy for you to find. But it's like a little foldable toothbrush, and you can bring it with one of those little baby toothpastes and just brush your teeth in between the stuff that you're eating at the studio, because you might not notice it, but other people might notice that you have kind of stinky breath. And like breath mints and gum, that's all great, but you can only get so far with those. They're not actually going to be cleaning your mouth. So I would encourage you to, just do a brush. Or, they have those throwaway toothbrushes where it actually has like teeth cleaning stuff on it, and you literally like just brush it around and then you throw it away. Taking care of your body externally is also really important. And if you're someone who maybe struggles with getting like breakouts because you're sitting in your sweaty dance clothes, or you just want to not feel gross and prevent any bacteria from remaining on your skin between classes, always pack a clean little sweat towel in your bag, and then also pack some baby wipes / body wipes. The sweat towel, of course, is good for getting like the majority of the sweat off of you. If you're someone like me who sweats a lot, then you need to be carrying one of those with you to class. Take all the sweat off of yourself, and if you're not able to really like shower or anything and you're gonna be sitting around in the same clothes, you also might even want to go so far as to bring an extra change of clothes so that you're not remaining in the sweaty clothes that you were wearing before. That might not be possible, but also what you could do is bring some baby wipes or body wipes just to kind of like remove like I said, the bacteria that's gonna be on your skin. Basic baby wipes are great and that'll like do the trick. If you want to go a step further and really like prevent odor in maybe like your underarms and like down there, then they do sell specific wipes for those. I like the ones that I've tried from this brand Lumi. I was #influenced by an ad that I saw and I actually really like them. They have like natural ingredients and they're supposed to be good for your skin and all of that. It's like the deodorant part of your deodorant without the antiperspirant. Those wipes are a little bit more expensive, so I kind of like use them less frequently and only when I really need to and I can't shower or I feel like I just really need a refreshing. Doing something like that, that's gonna go a long way to help prevent like bumps on your skin, acne, just makes you smell good. And then of course, bring deodorant. I keep bumping this plant. Bring deodorant with you to class. You don't necessarily have to buy a deodorant that has antiperspirant in it if you're worried about like the ingredients, because I know there has been research and different things talking about how deodorants with antiperspirant can be bad for you. You can do your own research and form your own opinions on that. I have tried also the Lumi deodorant that doesn't have antiperspirant, and I actually really like it. It does prevent me from smelling. Like, no matter how sweaty I get, I still smell good, but the problem is it doesn't have antiperspirant. So I do sweat a lot. So if I just use that, I will sweat. I tend to use that one when I'm just like at home or I'm somewhere where I don't care if my armpits are sweating. If I'm dancing or I'm out in public, I tend to use an antiperspirant deodorant. Antiperspirant, however you want to say that. You can also pack a little light body spray in your bag. Just be aware that you don't pick something that's an obnoxious scent, because people can get headaches, people can be really sensitive. If anything, try and find something more natural, or you could even do like, I have some right here. Like something way more natural would be like essential oils. You don't want to just put these directly on your skin. You want to mix it in with a carrier oil, but even something like that to kind of like make you feel a little bit more fresh, and it's a very natural scent, so it shouldn't be too offensive to anyone else. We're gonna stay on this topic of smells. I don't know, I just feel like dancers, we don't realize it because we're around each other, but we tend to be smelly people. I remember when I was younger, my mom, when she would come pick me up from ballet, she never wanted to come into the studio. She would like pull up outside and wait for me out there and text me and call me. She was like, I don't like going in there because it smells like feet. Maybe the studio also needed to take better care of the facilities, but whether we realize it or not, we tend to smell. So one thing you can also do is buy little deodorizers for your dance bag. They sell tons of different options on Amazon. Like I said, I'll link a bunch of the stuff down below, the ones that I've tried and used. You can put one of those in your bag to sort of absorb some of the odors in there so that you feel fresh when you're carrying it around. You won't be like sitting on the train or sitting in the car smelling your gross dance stuff. But if you want to stop the smell at the source before it even goes into your bag, a couple different options I would recommend. One would be keep like a separate bag inside of your dance bag that you can seal shut for your shoes. Not just your shoes, honestly, you could do this with like your sweaty clothes or anything that you take off, your cover-ups. Put them in a separate bag in a compartment somewhere where you can zip and close, and it's not gonna contaminate anything else in your bag. And then as soon as you get home, the second you're about to put down your dance bag, just have like a space next to where you keep your dance bag, preferably something that's like open, like a drying rack or like those shoe racks that have like ridges that air can flow through. Put your dance shoes on there to dry out overnight. It's gonna let them air out. It's gonna keep them lasting longer because they won't be sitting kind of damp in your bag, and it'll stop them from smelling up your dance bag. It literally takes an extra, minute to take the stuff out of your bag. Make sure you put all your dirty, sweaty stuff into the laundry or the hamper. You know, like I said, some of this is basic stuff that maybe you're like, oh, okay, that's common sense, but are you doing it? Or maybe it's not common sense to you, because I know not everyone has an adult person or someone in their life to tell them these things. So now that we're on the topic of shoes, we can talk about feet and how to take care of your feet, because it can be kind of a tricky situation as a dancer, depending on what type of dance you do. So if you're doing something like point work, or you are consistently dancing barefoot, you need to be very careful about how many pedicures you're getting, or what types of pedicures you're getting is probably the better answer. Because the truth is, you still can get a pedicure. You just need to tell the person, the nail technician, that you don't want them to take off calluses, that maybe you don't want them to remove cuticles. Tell them all the specific things that you do and do not want done, and they can accomplish that for you. Most places will be accommodating, but you don't have to get pedicures. You can definitely keep up with your feet at home. You just, of course, want to make sure that your nails are trimmed, make sure they're not dirty, make sure every time that you're taking a shower that you are washing your feet and drying them properly. Like when you get out of the shower, make sure all the spaces between your toes are dry so that you're not getting like athlete's foot or anything. And if you really want to, you can get like a pumice stone and kind of buff off some of the dead skin where you maybe don't need calluses. Because that's the thing about being a dancer, is you might need those calluses. They kind of come in handy if you're like turning barefoot, or if you're on point, you want those calluses to kind of protect your feet. A lot of times we'll get things like blisters, or you might get little cuts on your feet, and you need to be keeping those things clean and tended to so that they can heal and you won't have any kind of infections. And also just make sure that if you're doing any kind of at-home foot stuff, like of course like clipping your nails or buffing your skin, that all of the tools that you use are always clean. Cleaning the rest of your body, of course, please make sure you're taking showers every day if that you're dancing, and use a washcloth. Try not to just like use soap in your hands. If you use a washcloth, you're gonna really be able to get the dirt and the stuff off of your skin, paying extra attention to places like under your arms and the little places that we forget about, like behind our ears. Around your neck and chest, you also want to pay special attention to, because if you're sweating and you're a dancer and you're like putting your hair up with product in it, some of that product might start sweating onto your skin and clogging up your pores. So just make sure that you're just like spending time actually cleaning your skin. I know it can be tedious, but it really does make a difference. You can also get one of those like back scrubber, like that has the long stick on it. Just be careful, make sure that you don't keep those for very long. I don't really know what the suggested date is, but I know probably not more than a month you want to keep the same one, because the problem is you can't really wash it and clean it like you would be able to with like a washcloth, and those things can start to collect bacteria, things like loofahs and sponges and whatnot. So that's why I say washcloth, but I do know that it can be hard to get your back if you are just using a washcloth, so do what you need to do. Continuing down, as you're washing your body, if you are a woman, you should not be putting soap anywhere up any area. It should just be like around everything. You know, I'm just gonna start saying the words because like I said, there's no shame in all this. I'm just like sort of scared that YouTube is gonna get mad at me for saying these words, but whatever. So don't put anything up inside of like your vagina area. It should stay around. Your body naturally will clean itself. You don't need to be putting soap up inside of yourself. You can use it kind of close around those areas, but if you get soap up there, your body is going to reject it, and it's gonna come in the form of irritation. You might feel like burning. It might start to smell kind of weird. So you're better off just leaving it alone and rinsing with water. If you really think that something is up and that things are smelling kind of weird down there, or you have some kind of concerns, please just go to the doctor. There's literally no shame in the game. They have seen so many patients that probably have the exact same issues that you're having, and they can help you fix it. But the way I see it is if there's no kind of like fishy smell, if you're not smelling anything too aggressive, like a yeast smell or like bread almost, you for the most part are probably okay, and you're probably the only one that can even smell it and notice it. But like I said, make sure that you check with your doctor if you are concerned. And also, if you are a woman and you're 18, you should be seeing like a gynecologist once a year anyway, and you can talk about those concerns. Sticking on the shower topic, let's talk about washing your hair. If you're like most people, you don't want to wash your hair every day because it can be really damaging. It strips your hair of the natural oils, and it's just not the greatest, especially if you have colored hair like me. But I get that you might want to wash your hair every day if you're putting like hairspray in it, if you're sweating a lot, or if you're doing floor work and your head touches the ground. You don't want to be putting your dirty hair on your pillow at night. That said, there are some things we can do to extend the life of our washes. Of course, dry shampoo can be your best friend. If you really want to get more of a clean feeling, but you don't want to fully strip your hair of the oils, you can just let your hair get wet in the shower, but not actually put shampoo and conditioner. That might feel really weird to you though. Kind of feels weird to me sometimes. You can also experiment with hairstyles that you can wear that don't require really fresh hair. So just look up second day hair inspo on Pinterest or tutorials, because there are ways that you can style your hair and have it look good without having to wash it every single day. If you're concerned about your hair being dirty and sleeping on your pillow at night, try wearing like a cap or like a shower cap or a little bonnet to sleep, and that will prevent all the bacteria from getting onto your pillows and then onto your skin. Other hair we can talk about is body hair. Man, there's so many things you can do, and let's just say up front, you don't have to remove your body hair. Like, it's totally acceptable to have it. No one cares. It's 2021, y'all. But if you are looking to remove your body hair or some of it, these are my suggestions and tips. There are hair removal creams like Nair, which might work for you if you are someone who has kind of like thinner hair or you just don't have as much. You can experiment with those. Just Be very careful because sometimes the ingredients in those can irritate your skin. So do like a little patch test on somewhere that's like an inconspicuous area on your body. Make sure you don't get an allergic reaction. I personally can't use those. My hair, I just have too much and it's too coarse for it to be removed by them. So for a long time, I was just shaving everywhere. My underarm, shaving my bikini area and my legs. I have the most success shaving when I take a nice hot shower. I make sure to exfoliate my skin first, and then I use a nice razor with lots of blades on it, and even maybe one that has kind of the gel stuff around it to ease up the way that it travels on your skin. Make sure if you're shaving that you don't rush. That's probably the best tip, is to just go slowly and just shave the areas that you feel like you need to shave that day. Like, you don't have to be hairless all the time. If you rush, that's when you're gonna cut yourself, and cuts when you shave are probably the most annoying thing ever. I did recently start waxing just my bikini area, and I'm not gonna lie, I love it. Even though it hurts so bad, the results are so much better for me than shaving. When I shave, I really quickly get like bumps and ingrown hairs, but with waxing, nothing. And my hair came back so much thinner, and like there's so much less of it. So if you can afford it, you can tolerate the pain, and you want something that lasts longer, waxing is great. Or you can go to the even more expensive route and more permanent route and do laser hair removal. That's my goal. That's my dream one day. When I have enough money to do it, I probably will do it because I just hate removing my hair. So if you're someone that does laser, let us know in the comments if you think it's worth it or if you liked it, your tips and suggestions. But okay, last topic, maybe best topic, not best, but one that needs the most attention, is talking about caring for your period as a dancer. Getting your period as a dancer is very tricky, especially when you first get it, because you're probably wearing very tight bottoms, maybe a leotard or like little shorts or leggings pretty frequently. And if you're first getting your period, you most likely want to start with pads just because it's the most like easy, least scary way to care for it. And so if that's you and you're not ready to maybe use tampons or like a cup or something, you can definitely wear pads. And if you're a ballet dancer, you can talk to your teacher, see if they're okay with you maybe wearing like a little skirt or some shorts, and just let them know what's happening. And they should be understanding that you need to have something around you so that you can wear your pads and they're not visible. They will most likely understand if they're a nice human, and if they're not, then they're gonna have to deal with seeing it, and that's fine too. Like, there's no shame in having lines there. We all know that girls get their periods. It's not really the end of the world. I will say though, once I switched over to tampons, it made dancing on my period a lot easier because you don't have to deal with the lines or anything. And I mean, all you really have to do is make sure that you change it every couple of hours. And if you're concerned about any kind of like leakage while you're wearing a tampon, in case you might not be able to take it out quickly, you can get those really little like panty liners, and usually you can fit those in without anything being seen. But more recently, I would say within the last year or so, I switched over to using a cup. I use the Salt cup. I know there's also the Diva cup, and there are like a million different other ones. This is probably the most advanced option out of all of them. You kind of gotta have a good grasp of your anatomy and be okay with seeing blood. But it's a little cup, I'll put a picture on the screen, that you put up inside of you. And it can supposedly last you for maybe like 5 hours, maybe longer, depending on how heavy your periods are. And it'll basically just collect all of the blood, and then you just gotta pour it out either in the toilet or like the sink or whatever. And I personally really like it because you don't have to worry at all about like changing a tampon or a pad. I really have only had it leak on me once, and it was when I wore it overnight and my period was like super heavy, and that was like good 8 hours. So I was going beyond the recommended amount of time to use it. It really did change the game for me. I feel like it feels like you don't have anything there. You don't even really think about being on your period unless you're getting like cramps or something. The only downside is if you do need to deal with it and you're out in public, it can be a little bit tricky, and you can do like more research online about different ways to handle it in public. Because when I'm at home, I like to just be right by the sink and like take it out and do it all right there, and it feels very clean and good. When you're in a public bathroom, I've only had to do it maybe a couple times. It can be a little messy, so you have to be prepared for that. But that's why we keep, our baby wipes on us and maybe have extra pair of underwear or clothes with you when you're on your period in case things like that happen. Okay guys, I think that's everything. Hopefully I didn't miss anything too glaring. If I did, let me know. I can always do a part 2, or I can expand on some of these things. And if you enjoyed the video and found it useful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you hopefully, or you will see me in my next video. Bye.